All right, Wednesday kicks us into high gear. Week's on, and a lot going on to get ready for a really, really good-looking football team. The Niners have played really well the last couple of weeks, and have bounced back from a little bit of a different start for them. Looks like a terrific division opponent again. So here we go. Got to get ready to rock and roll. Good to be coming home. What do you want to know?
John Boyle?
Yeah, Pete, you mentioned them bouncing back. You guys are coming off your first loss. What goes into that process of the getting past the loss and moving forward?
Yeah, it's really important for us, John, every Wednesday, regardless of what just happened, to get back on track. And so we have a real routine about it. We know that big wins can be just as difficult as a difficult loss, because it's all about distraction and inability to focus. So, we're in our routine right now. The routine should take care of getting our minds right, and the practice will certainly catch our attention. We have a good hard day today, and then we're back at it. We have to leave all that just happened behind us.
Greg Bell?
Hi, Pete. What attracted you to Carlos Dunlop? How might he be able to fit?
The process of finalizing that, I'm sorry to tell you guys, isn't done yet, and so until it is, I'm not able to comment on it. So we're gonna have to wait, and we'll let you know as soon as we can. I'm sorry. We tried to get it. That's why I'm late here. I was trying to wait for it, and it just didn't get done yet.
But you don't have to wait to announce until the COVID and all. He's through all that, do you?
No.
Okay.
The answer from Dave is no. Phone a friend.
Let me ask you then in general terms. We've talked about pass rush not just being on certain aspect of the whole defense, but what is an edge rusher? What's the need for outside edge pressure, and how can that help?
Yeah, it's critical, to develop your rush so that it can complement with the rest of the game. To get on the edge and force it and break down the pocket and perhaps get clean on the edge where you get right in the face of the quarterback. It's huge, and that's nothing new, nothing that we haven't talked about forever. But so that element is just it's a built-in need if you're going to have a good developing pass rush.
Did you know coming into this season you were kind of rolling the dice there? Things would have to break your way with personnel.
Well, we look what we did in the draft. We took a couple of guys in the draft to help us. We picked up 2 guys in free agency, so we were working at it. And losing Bruce was a big deal to us. Because we knew that he was an accomplished rusher. Both he and Mayo had 7 or 8 sacks last year and had been productive on the teams they come from. So we felt like bringing those 2 guys together would give us a start in the 2 draft picks. We thought as well. And unfortunately, Daryl's been banged up, not back yet. I'm hoping he'll be a factor, and other than that, Alton Robinson's been trying to help us out in the rotations, and he has done that. So we're just not we're still developing, and unfortunately, I know it's 6 games into it, going on 7. That's where it is, and we're going to get better.
Curtis?
Yeah, Pete, a similar vein, but how would you kind of evaluate how your ends have played through 6-7 games? I know at times with no preseason, you've talked in the past even about how it takes some time to find a footing and cohesion with your rush group in general. They've
been battling. They've been working real hard and working at it. We've been rotating guys when we can to try to keep guys as fresh as possible. Benson had 8 sacks last year on less than 300 snaps. So and he's already played that many snaps. So we had not intended him to play as much as he's had to play to keep him fresh and like he was a year ago. We thought he was really effective. So there's been factors that we're just dealing with, and but the guys have been working their tails off. They do right. They know what they're doing. They're in the right spots and stuff like that. We just got to keep working to collect our wins.
Corbin?
Hey, Pete, you talked on Monday about the difficulties of trying to bring in players from the outside and the injuries that you've got at the running back position. So I'm curious if there are some guys on the roster, other positions, say a David Moore, somebody like that could be ready in an emergency capacity to play in the backfield for you this weekend.
There are players like that. You're right. And, we'll check out what we need this week and watch our guys coming back, off the injury list and see who comes back. But we are, we have to make some moves and in preparation in case the guys don't get back. So we're doing that, and we'll wait and see when the week's over, so you can figure out who it is. Please.
Tim?
Pete, what is the update with your running backs with Chris, Travis, and Carlos?
They're all in their own situation. They're different entirely, and we'll have to wait and see all through the week. Carlos with the hamstring is probably that it's not a major hamstring, so we don't know. It happened during a celebration more than running on the field, and so we're hoping it was a little more crampy than it was a pull. We'll find out here in the next couple days. Homer, he's got a bruised knee that he's already moving way better. He won't practice today, but he's moving way better from yesterday already. And Chris has got a foot, something's going on in his foot that we got to see how it goes. We'll be real quiet on Chris until the end of the week and see how he goes on the weekend. So we won't know entirely what's happening until the week is out.
And then what's the plan with Jamal for this week?
He's going to be practicing in a limited fashion for the first time today. And so we'll see what that means and see how he goes. And tomorrow will be a really important day for him, as will Friday. We're going one day at a time, and we're mixing him in the preparation with the thought that there's a chance. But we're going to just have to wait and see how he does.
Brady?
I'd be, excuse me, just in general, if you were to bring in a player right now, would he still have to go through the same testing as a free agent would, and meaning probably wouldn't be available to play this weekend because of the protocols?
Yeah, you can't make it. There's not enough time. There's not enough time to get it done and test him all the way through it and have any opportunity to work with the player prior to the game. So we're out of days already. So you have to. That's why you have to stay ahead. We had 4 running backs last week, and so we thought we were in pretty good shape. So. Right now, it would be time. You would want to have had another guy, a 5th guy. And at least we could have had a couple guys, to cover what just happened. But it's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it. That's the way the rules are. Everybody's dealing with the same situation, and you can get stuck. So that's why you have to have versatility in your guys. And fortunately, we have some guys that can possibly help us out.
I'm sorry, I should have clarified. I meant a player that if you were to hypothetically trade for a player right now who has been in another team's testing protocol, would the same thing apply?
Yeah, okay. I went a long ways down a dark road there, didn't I? Yes, they have to start all over again. Yeah, you would think because they've been in the but maybe it's the plane flight. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is, but. Like a guy that could have tested today and get to here tonight and test with us tomorrow, but that's not allowed. So they fall into the same category as anybody coming from the outside.
Gotcha. And one more, Shaquille Griffin, how's he doing?
We got to go take him through the week and see how he does. He's in the concussion protocol.
Thanks.
Bob?
Yeah, Pete, are you still hoping to get Rasheem Green back? And then what kind of boost would that give you if he can come back?
He's going to practice this week. He and Philip Haynes are both coming out on the practice field for the first time in a long time. So we're really excited to get them back out there.
Did something happen to Ryan Neal late in the game on Sunday, or he looked like he was out for a little while and Damaris Randall was in?
I think he just came out for a couple plays. He just got I don't know. So I don't even know what happened. He was not hurt.
Okay.
Nico?
Nico.
Hey, sorry about that. I was just wondering, what was the messaging and kind of the approach this week, after a loss? And, how much do you go back and look at that and try to make adjustments of that specific game?
No, Nico, we go through the process of, trying to get to the truth of what happened and figure it out, and then evaluate what needs to be addressed, specifically to make sure that we don't continue down the road that we need to fix. So we're working on stuff. It just depends on the game and what happens, but we don't ignore the last game. Now we're making sure that we can grow and get better. We're on a course where we're continually trying to improve right now, fundamentally in scheme wise and in all of that. So. We don't want to lose that side of that at any time, regardless of what happened before. So, because we really think we can get better and we can keep improving. So that's what the focus is. So we take all the information that we got and try to make some sense of it, and then apply it to the plan and apply it to the way we instruct the guys.
Jackie?
Hey, Pete. Similar to your injury situation, San Francisco's been dealing with a lot of injuries throughout the season. What has stood out to you in how Shanahan and Saleh have been able to kind of scheme against teams given the injuries that they've had to deal with?
Well, we haven't seen him change much, subtly, when you don't have Kittle to design a game plan around, then you do other things, So things change there. You don't see the ball going to the tight end as much, but they're both really, really bright coaches, and they use their personnel really completely, and they know what they're doing, and so they're very creative, and so we'll know that they're game planning according to who's available to them, and then what they're up against. So that's what we know that's going to happen for sure. We can count on these guys. They're going to have a heck of a game plan.
You mentioned Kittle. What stands out to you, especially just the yardage he's able to get after the catch?
He can do everything, really. He's got great feet and blocking. He's got a great base under him, and he can block big guys. He can block backers. He's really willing. He's got a great attitude about it. He's tough and physical and all that. We know that he can catch the football, and he runs well. He runs very well after the catch. So he is really a consummate player. He can do the whole thing, and they have in Jusic, they have a guy there too in the fullback spot that is similar, and he has such a well-rounded game, and they do a lot of stuff with those two guys. They're the highlighted players, in their offensive approach, and but you can't get any better than Kittle is. He's really, really good.
Joe?
Pete, worth trying again since we don't get to chat with you again until Friday. The Bengals have announced the trade, so wondering if that changes your ability to comment on Carlos Dunlop.
Hang on a second. He's trying right now to get to where we haven't got the word officially, so I'm sorry. I'm just going to stick with the rules here. I don't want to get bounced for something that we could have avoided. So sorry.
Okay.
Maybe we can check in later this afternoon or something like that, and give you the word. We'll work something out with Dave.
Okay. And then with DK, he's been pretty consistent all year long. I think he had 92 yards at least in each of your first 5 games. Held to just 2 catches last week. Obviously, the one pulled back because of the holding. But was that just Patrick Peterson taking him out of the game? Was it Tyler Lockett being open so much to where the plays just went to him, or what do you make of his? Just
it had nothing to do with DK. It had nothing to do with DK. It was totally a game that we just went to Tyler, and we had not intended to throw him 15 passes, get 15 catches in the game. We thought it was going to be available. We thought our matchup would be good, but he just made the most of it and just put together a spectacular night. I was thinking, we were talking about it out here, and the 3 catches that he had, the special catches that he had, were some guys that'd be the best catch they ever had in their career. He had 3 in one night, and so we just kept going, to what was available. And obviously we're still trying to get the ball to DK, and you can see why. That's obvious. But that's the way it unfolded on this night.
Masvidal?
Hey, Pete, going back to the San Francisco offense, Jimmy Garoppolo, playing, getting injured, coming back, and seems to be kind of confident in a groove. I wonder if you could just talk about his confidence and how he runs that offense.
Yeah, they really are a clean-looking group. When he's in there, he's real efficient. He's real quick with the football. Doesn't hold the ball at all. The passing game is really designed off of the running game, and if they had their way, they'd throw it 10 or 12 times in the game, just like they did against Green Bay. They'll run the ball all day long if you let them, and that's a great part of their mentality, I think, their commitment there. But Jimmy really compliments well, and he certainly understands everything that they need him to do to be efficient. And so if they're running the ball well, he's really problematic. And they would rather not be in a throwing game, a shootout throwing game. They'd rather run the football and mix their stuff in, I would think. And he can do all of it, so he's really good for him.
Art?
Pete, L.J. Collier had 39 snaps Sunday, had 1 tackle for loss, which is about all the statistics we saw. Is he living up to the expectations you had for him at this point in the season?
Well, in the sense that he's playing a lot, playing 39, 40 plays, that's a good amount of plays for a D lineman, for a guy really first time really getting going. LJ's playing hard, playing tough. Weren't productive. The throwing game came out real quick last week. We got minimal amount of pressure during the game, and so he was not unlike anybody else. So he's playing good football. And he's working his tail off. Of course, we'd like to see him be able to get clean and get free in the backfield a couple more times, but I'm pleased with how hard he's working and how we're counting on him.
Michael Sean.
Pete, how did the injuries in the first couple of weeks on D affect kind of just what you want to do philosophically, whether it's more man with the guys you had before or maybe more zone now?
There has been some effects. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, we're adjusting to our personnel as best we can, and I've not felt the continuity of what the first couple of weeks in our approach because of when you have such a special player like Jamal, he just draws a lot of attention, and you can for us in planning and also for your opponent. So that's been different. Not having Quentin, in there, those guys have hardly played together. So, I think in Brooksy too, where you can see why we really like him, and Jordan is going to do a fine job for us playing in that spot. But he's just like a couple games old, so it feels like it's still coming, and I don't like being patient at all. But in this case, before it really gets to its best, it's going to be a bit, and so that's where it is.
Do you think the adjustment, like you guys practiced one way in the preseason expecting certain guys to play, do you think that adjustments after the injuries has been hard on some of the guys who've had to play maybe more than they expected back in August?
It's not been hard on them. I wouldn't say that way. I mean, they're thrilled to play, but it's been challenging. You're playing with new guys with new experiences, and so they're learning. They're in a learning mode, totally. Ryan Neal's a good example. Jordan Brooks is a really good example. They're just getting going. The Alton Robinson gaining some snaps and all that. It's just new, and so that's just what it is. Like when we added Benson and those guys just come in and they play right off the bat. Bruce, they just assimilate so quickly. It's different for the guys that haven't played much, and so I don't think it's bad or hard. It's just what the experience brings to you.
Thanks.
Jen.
We saw more of Jacob Hollister on Sunday than we had in any game previous. What is getting him going do for the offense?
Well, he's got a little spark to him, He's a good run after catch guy. Jakey gives great effort. He's a really nice all around football player, and we like his stuff. He's got versatility. We just felt like in the last couple of weeks he was not by any design. He just didn't get the turns with the ball coming his direction, and so we really stepped it up with purpose last week, just to get him going and make sure that he was involved. So I'd like to continue doing that.
Matt?
Pete, after the game on Sunday, Bobby Wagner was pretty blunt, saying we're nowhere where we want to be defensively. I just wondered if you can speak to the challenge of trying to turn it around and everything that's going on with the issues.
Yeah, going into last week, we really wanted to see if we could make a move here, and get going in a direction that we really felt better about, and. Just because you want to doesn't mean it happens right away. It takes some time, and so as we continue, I totally am planning on this turning and being at the top end of our game. It's out there for us. We're going to keep battling to do it, to get it done, and I agree with Bobby. That he's on point, and so everybody's working at it. We got a great attitude about it. The guys are spending their time studying all that. We got to get our combinations of guys right and max out and make sure we're clean, really, really clean with our execution, and so that's coming. And again, I don't know how much can I keep, or how long can I keep telling you that it's coming, but our best football is still ahead of us. There's no question in my mind.
Last question, Jackie.
Hey, Coach. I read an article today that Russell announced that he's going to be opening a high school in the Seattle area down the line. Can you just speak to his willingness to just be out in the community, whether it's the stuff at Seattle Children's or just opening a high school to help better the youth?
Yeah, Russell has assembled a team around him that allows him to really act on the heart that he has, and if a guy all by himself would be hard. But Russ has assembled a team to support really his care and love for doing the good work, and you got to admire the heck out of it. Both he and Ciara, and they're just their way about it. They're really giving, loving people, and so where they can find ways to do stuff, they do it. And I don't know. It's an unmatchable desire to just be active and to be mindful and thoughtful and caring, and I just marvel at how well they're able to do that.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we're good.